darkest corner of the internet. Tonight we are going to the most isolated places in India, the narrow, muddy roads of remote villages after midnight. These are the roads where phone signals disappear, street lights are rare, and very few people dare to drive alone. These are 5 true terrifying Reddit stories from solo cab drivers who work in these villages. They drive alone every night, picking up passengers from dark bus stops, cremation grounds, and empty fields. What they experienced made most of them quit driving forever. Some passengers were not alive, some knew things they should never have known, and some are still waiting on those same roads, waiting for the next cab to stop. Story number 1, the passenger who paid with old coins. My name is Sandeep. I drive a taxi in a small village near Varanasi. One stormy night at 1:20 a.m., I received a call from a very old number. Woman-esque voice asked me to pick her up from the cremation ground on the edge of the village. I reached there in the pouring rain. An old lady in a white sari was standing completely alone. She got into the back seat and said, "Take me to the next village." She didn't speak the entire way. When we arrived, she gave me for old 1 rupee coins from the year 1987. I told her politely, "Auntie, these coins are no longer valid." She smiled gently and said, "Beta, this is all I have. I died in 1987. When I looked back, the back seat was empty, but the 4 old coins were still in my hand, wet from the rain. The next morning I showed them to an old man in the village. He started crying and said, "These were my mother's coins. She died exactly 37 years ago on that same road while going to the next village." Story number 2, the road that wasn't there. This story is from Ramesh, a cab driver in the Rajasthan desert area. It was raining heavily at 2 a.m. He was carrying a passenger from one village to another. Suddenly the passenger said, "Take the left road." Ramesh replied, "There is no left road here." The passenger smiled and said, "There is. I used it yesterday." Ramesh turned left out of curiosity. A new road appeared that he had never seen before in his 10 years of driving. The road was smooth and dry even though it was raining heavily. For 10 minutes the passenger said, "Stop here. This is my house." Ramesh stopped the car. The passenger got down and disappeared into the darkness. When Ramesh tried to turn back, the road was gone. He was standing in the middle of the desert with no path in sight. He called his friend for help. When his friend arrived, he said, "Ramesh, you are 40 kilometers inside the desert. There is no road here for the last 25 years. A whole village was buried here in a sandstorm in 1999. Story number 3, the baby who never cried. Karen, a cab driver in Kerala, picked up a woman with a baby at 11:45 p.m. from a remote bus stop during a storm. The woman sat in the back with the baby wrapped tightly in a blanket. The whole journey the baby didn't make a single sound, not even a small cry. When they reached the destination, the woman said softly, "Thank you, my baby finally stopped crying after 3 days." Karen smiled and said, "Babies are like that sometimes." The woman looked at him with empty eyes and replied, "No, he died 3 days ago. Today I was taking him to the graveyard." She got down with the baby. Karen looked back. The back seat was empty. Only a small white cloth was lying there. Story number 4, the duplicate driver. This happened to Mahesh, a cab driver in a village near Pune. During a heavy storm, he dropped a passenger at 3 a.m. and was returning home alone. Suddenly, he saw his own taxi coming from the opposite direction on the narrow road. He slowed down. The other taxi also slowed down. When the 2 cars came side by side, Mahesh saw himself sitting in the driver's seat of the other car, smiling at him. The other Mahesh rolled down the window and said in his own voice, "Don't go home tonight. Something bad is waiting for you." Mahesh got so scared that he drove straight to the police station. The next morning when he reached home, his family told him that someone who looked exactly like him had come at 2:30 a.m. and told them Mahesh had an accident and died. Story number 5, the last passenger. This is the scariest story of the night. Vikram was returning empty from a village at 4 a.m. during the worst storm of the year. Suddenly, an old man flagged him down on the road. Vikram stopped. The old man sat in the front seat and said, "Take me to the river." On the way, the old man said, "Beta, I forgot my wallet at home. Can you wait while I bring it?" Vikram agreed. They reached an old broken house. The old man went inside. After 15 minutes, he didn't. He returned. Vikram went inside to check. The house was completely empty, no furniture, no people. Only one photo was hanging on the wall. It was the same old man with a garland on it. Below the photo was written, "Late Shri Ram Singh died 12 years ago." Vikram ran back to his car. When he started the engine, the old man was sitting in the front seat again and said calmly, "Thank you for bringing me home. Now take me back to where you found me." Vikram never drove again after that night. So these were the 5 true horror stories from solo cab drivers in remote villages. Which one scared you the most? Write the number in the comments -1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if you are a cab driver or have traveled in a village at night and faced something strange. Please share your story below. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next nightmare. And remember, next time you're driving alone on a village road at night and someone asks for a lift, think twice, because sometimes they are not going to their home, they are going to yours. Good night and drive safe.